Man has to be a man. I love men who are men and who makes no excuses of being themselves. No one says they have to clamor in public and be themselves. This is MEZA Grand Duchess RASMASKONEN. Anybody who sacrificed themselves for a certain standard and certain truths and die believing in those truths is an honorable person and deserve to be remembered in true spirit of it. How do we remember people on this Memorial Day? Those that died, fantastic, they fell in victory, and those that fell at the hands of their friendly fire, what about them? Did they fall? Are they remembered? Are they that littered homeless on the street with such fantastic story of abuse, hardship at the hands of their leadership and so forth, suffered because of their integrity? Are they remembered? I remember them. Gallant are they that speak the truth and speak it to the defense of the freedoms they represent, because those are those that suffer greatly and suffer greatly for the principles we represent, and those are gallant men also. Kudos to all people who suffer and sacrifice their lives for the belief of certain truth and principles, and that not it is not just represented on paper, it looks good, but represented it and personified it, and that is the true spirit of America, and that is the America we hope our leadership get back to. Not this closeted world of inbred, so forth, hostile, Harvard, Yale driven, fraternized society, so forth. We know what we have become under them. We know those that have suffered and died under them. But this is not a negativity party. This is a celebration of those who personified those freedoms, irregardless of the outcomes of it. And in that I say, what was the evil that they suffered? And I said always, the evil that evil does is interrupts the peace of those who are prolific at peace and production. And here I am, a little boy surrounded by all these little. I paid tribute on my Twitter page today. The other one is suspended. Somebody hacked that account. Hopefully Twitter gets over that. Anyway, because I'm all for speaking the truth and advocating for this great democracy. If we should not speak up, then we should allow for it to fall into the hands of what is come into a degenerate patrician class society, as the Romans did. And hopefully if they were to build a new Rome in America, that would not be bad. But right now we need the freedoms that we were promised under those the Constitution, not the handguns that are applied to us and tell us that we should shoot people because they don't look like us. How is Al-Qaeda indifferent to us? Are they indifferent to us, or do they want to exercise their freedom to be? And darling, we must take that into consideration. We must. But today, let us celebrate. Let us celebrate sacrifice and duty and purpose. Let us celebrate all those families that lost a loved one and never had a hug, a kiss, or a whisper before they were dead. Let's celebrate all those who suffered because of the military, who suffered because of their family, and who don't have somebody to hug, kiss, or shelter tonight. Let's celebrate those people, because those are the strongest and the most hardy of people. And if we are to adapt as a society, if we are to celebrate the Memorial Day in the true spirit as what it was, these Memorial Days are so somber, they are so solemn, they are so filled with fear and anxieties. They have nothing to offer, no hope, no aspiration, no culture. And the words that are read are so cliche. so cliche and so methodical that you begin to think, in what direction are we going? But let us erect the principles of our society again. This is where we need to be. The erection of the liberty. Here we have a man that should have ended wars and divulged in wars. Here he had in his cabinet leaders who started wars and started disconcerted efforts overseas and on the territory. What greater disaster can it be for the government, the citizenry, to be traumatized and attacked by its government? It is unheard of in any society like this. Well, it's not unheard of. We highlight China, South Korea, and so forth, another country, and they are not like us. But is that true, or are we just like them? Who is better than who? Who is the greater one? And if we are going to honor those people that sacrifice the freedom, that first independence, the first world wars, those noble men, let's remember this Memorial Day what to be remembered and what we sacrifice to uphold the dignity of those freedoms, and let's try to adhere to them and lend them to the greater generation of children to come. This is MEZA Grand Duchess Rasmaskonen, also known as Ryan Tomlinson. For I don't know what the future holds, but I remember the time when I was young, and in my youth I care free and care for all, that in my age I care for all and not carefree. So what is it that I should be at this time, that I am wiser in thee, carefree in my thought and peace in my word, to share with those who cannot live such a peace, who cannot enjoy such deliverance of a majesty, of diversity, no enmity in the wheat that we feed. Instead, when we look up and look out again for those to rescue, to make them as ourselves, we share the bowl in kindness and we communicate our sense of dedication to the life that was precious to all of us and that was given for us to protect and the generations to come again. This is MEZA Grand Duchess Rasmaskonen. Have a good Memorial Day.